I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, I have to tell you that truth is what it is. You cannot change it. You cannot describe it. You have to experience it, and you cannot pay for it. You can only discover it through the last breakthrough of your evolutionary process, which is living process, into a new awareness, into a new dimension. Now whatever I am telling you, please don't accept blindfolded. We have had enough problems with the blind faiths. If you do experience, if you do get the results of whatever I am saying, you have to accept it as honest people, because it is for your good, for the good of your family, for the good of your country, for the good of the whole world. We talk of peace. From where does this war comes in? From where the ideas of fighting and quarreling comes in? It comes from your mind. Now look at this mind, what it is. I say it is a myth. Mind is a myth created by the reaction of your ego and your conditioning. It's like the froth, or you can say it like the bubbles on the shore of the ocean, which are brought forth by your thoughts and your reactions. But you can't stop it. When this mind is created, it again substantiates and supports your ego and your conditioning. It's like this. As we create a computer, and then the computer itself starts controlling us. In the same way, this mind starts creating us. Or we can say we create the watch, and then this watch starts controlling us. Now all these thoughts are born through this mind of ours, which is nothing but the garbage we have gathered around by reacting to things. When we see very grotesque type of creation of films and things, and some also many so-called art, we are surprised from it, from what brain it comes. There must be some rotten brains that are bringing it. But brain is reality, not the mind. They come out of the mind. So one has to understand that to get peace, we have to go beyond this mind. This mind is the one which reacts and creates problem for us. Makes us believe into things, and we are conditioned. We are not free people. Free people to understand what is reality. The reality is beyond the mind. Now how to cross the limit of mind? Like once a doctor in Switzerland said, "Mother, you do what you like, you can cut my throat, but stop these thoughts, they are bombarding me." You cannot stop. Because a thought rises and falls off, another thought rises and falls off. These thoughts come to us from the past or from the future. You are not in the present. You cannot be in the present. But when this power that is described to you already, known as the Kundalini, rises, then she takes your attention beyond the thought, beyond the mind, and that is the place where resides the present, the reality. Now this special thing as called as Kundalini is not to be discarded because coming from India. It has been described in every scripture. Even in the Bible it's described that I'll appear before you like tongues of flames. These are the tongues of flames you see along the path of the Kundalini. Also Muhammad Sahib has said very clearly in his Quran that if you want to know God, you must know yourself. Christ has said, know thyself. All of them have said the same thing. If you see Zen system or Lao Tse, Confucius, any one of them, they all said that unless and until you know yourself, you are not there. You have no identity. But knowing yourself is very important because you are the treasure of knowledge. You are the treasure of wisdom and divine discretion. It's all within you, which you should know without any efforts. Effortless, Sahaja. Saha means with, Ja means born. Born with you is the right to get your self-realization. It's your birthright to have it, and in these modern times it has been made very, very easy somehow to get this realization. In our country also, all the saints have described about achievement of yourself. Sahaja word is used by so many saints, especially by Guru Nanaka, who says Sahaja Samadhi Lam. Whatever you have to get in your awareness, Samadhi is awareness, has to be in a Sahaj, means a spontaneous manner. So for this you don't have to stand on your head, you don't have to run away from your families, you don't have to starve or fast. You've done it. You've done it in your last lives. In this life, you should have the fruits of your hard work that you had put in to express your desire to be one with the Divine. The first truth is that you are not this body, this mind, these conditionings, this ego, these emotions, but you are the pure spirit. The second truth is very much evident, but we are not bothered to know it. For example, you see these beautiful flowers, beautiful trees all around. It's a miracle. See, every tree is different, every seed is different, and all flowers are different, their fragrance is different. It's a miracle that is created, but we take it for granted. If you ask a doctor, who runs your heart? He'll say it's autonomous nervous system. But who is this auto? Who is the one who does it? They don't know. At the most they can say it is autonomous nervous system. Beyond these systems, we have the system here of these three channels. And these three channels, left and right channels, look after your right and left sympathetic nervous system, which are responsible on the right side for your physical and mental activity, on the left hand side for your emotional activity. In the center, there are these two sympathetics. They form a loop like this, and the chakras, the centers, are created. These centers are responsible for our physical, mental, emotional and spiritual being. But when we start exhausting whatever limited energy it has, then we start developing either physical, mental, emotional or spiritual problems. If somehow we can save these centers from a state of jeopardy, we can solve the problem of physical problem, of say, mental problems, and also emotional, spiritual problem. Now, I must tell you that we have cured through Sahaja Yoga. I shouldn't say we have, because it's your own Kundalini which has done the job. People who suffered from blood cancer, people who have suffered from lots of incurable diseases. We don't have to go through the rigmarole of horrible diagnosis. You can diagnose a person on your fingertips, because these fingertips, 5, 6 and 7, are denoting your centers within yourself. They get enlightened. So with the light of the Spirit, when you are enlightened, you really become an enlightened person. It is not just a certificate, I am this, I am that. It is something that happens to your awareness. The first thing that happens, as I told you, you go beyond the mind, that you become thoughtlessly aware. In Sanskrit we call it Nirvichar Samadhi. It is an instant happening. Maybe the modern times are such that the Kundalini rises like a jet. And in thousands of people it has worked out. But to establish that situation of thoughtless awareness, you have to meditate at the most for 10 minutes in the evening. But immediately you will feel absolutely peaceful. You will feel like a witness of the whole drama that is going on. And with that drama, you will be able to see that there's nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be worried. Because you are out of that problem, you can solve it. Like if you are standing in the water, in the sea, and it's turbulent, you see the waves rising higher and higher, you are frightened. But supposing you can get into a boat, then you can watch the same scene with such attention and with enjoyment, because you know it cannot hurt you. But supposing you can jump into the sea because you are a great swimmer, you can save many others. So in the second state, where you become doubtlessly aware, you become all-powerful because you can give realizations to others. It's like one enlightened light or a candle can enlighten many candles. You can give realizations to many people. They say that Sahaja Yoga is working in 108 countries where I have not been. I have been to many but not so many. Only the people who got their realization went down to all these places and have given awakening to so many people. It's something that is within you. This Kundalini is your own mother. She is your individual mother. She knows everything about you. She is very anxious to give you your self-realization. As your mother took all the pains when you were born, she takes all the pain. She is so anxious that if she knows that there is an atmosphere where she can awaken your inner being, she spontaneously rises and doesn't give you any trouble whatsoever. It's a living process of evolution, as I told. We cannot explain any living process in a very scientific method, because supposing you have a seed and you plant it in the Mother Earth, it sprouts. Because the Mother Earth has got power to sprout it, and the seed has got power to be sprouted. It is no effort. The seed is to be treated with respect and just to be planted inside the Mother Earth. It's a very simple thing. Now, people think that how can it be so simple? For them, it should be a very difficult thing. But everything vital in this world is simple. For example, our breathing. Supposing for our breathing, we had to go to some guru or take some lessons or consult some books, what would have happened to us? It's a very vital thing which has to happen to you, and that's why it's very simple. I think these are the times, I call them as blossom time, where suddenly so many seekers have come and the Kundalini is taking this form. Of course, it is predicted also by Pragumini long time back that such and such thing will happen. But still it will happen in such a big proportion, I could never have guessed it. What happens to you when the Kundalini rises? First of all, you feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. Now what is this cool breeze of the Holy Ghost is? It is the all-pervading power of divine love. This divine love is the one which gives you these flowers. It's called also as Ritambara Pragya by Mataji. It is also called as Parama Chaitanya. It is also called as Ruh. Also it is called as Nirakar. You can call it by any name. In the Bible it's called as the all-pervading power of divine love. Whatever you may call it, it is something which is an energy around us, which is a very subtle energy, which works into every atom and molecule, into everything, penetrates into anything. This special energy we have never felt before. For the first time tonight you are going to feel it. Also this is called as the last judgment, because there are people who like to go to people who can be bought, whom they can pay money for self-realization. People who can deceive them. People who can tell them stories, something artificial, and they get bound by those permissive marketing ideas. If they are permissive, people like them because it supports their weaknesses. If it is ego-oriented, they like it because it supports their ego. So the judgment is now. It is for you to judge whether you want the absolute truth or not. The difference between truth and absolute truth is this, that absolute truth is felt by everyone on the central nervous system, which we call as Bodh, from where the word Buddha has come. Another one is Ved. Veda. Veda is to know it on your central nervous system, not mentally, not on mental level, on your fingertips. And on your fingertips you can find out what is the absolute truth and what is the relative truth. Supposing you have 10 children who are realized, and you tie up their eyes and ask them to say what's wrong with the person who's standing before you. They will all raise the same finger or fingers, which may mean that he has a bad heart or he has got mental problems. It can be easily found out what's wrong with that person. Now, if you know how to correct your centers, you can also correct the centers of others. And thus, you can help the whole world to go get emancipated. It's a thing by which you are resurrected. Again, I would say Muhammad Sahib has said, though he didn't write Quran, but there are lots of truths left behind somehow, that your hands will speak at the time of resurrection, at the time of Qiyamah. This is exactly what happens, that you can feel on your fingertips your centers and centers of others. Because you get into a new dimension of your awareness, which we call as collective consciousness. Become collectively conscious. Sitting down here, you can know the vibrations of another person. You can know what's wrong with that person. Even if he's dead, you can know about it. It's very interesting how you become so knowledgeable. And after some time, you will be amazed that you can even tell the future of a person. It's very simple, because if you become a saint of that level, what is future and what is past? It's all absolutely in your brain, already built in. Only thing, you are not open to that so far, but with the light of the Spirit, everything opens up in your brain. I have seen children who are very dull in class, who were brought to me because they were hopelessly bad, failing all the time, stood first, got scholarships, and most of the students from Sahaja I have seen are always breaking the records everywhere. If this is the advantage only, I would have said, all right, it's nothing great. But the greatest advantage, I think, is that your personality knows the totality. You get your identification. See, people have no identity. Why these people paint their heads and wear funny dresses? Because they want to express their identity. Your identity is within yourself, is your spirit. And once you know your spirit, you'll be amazed how dynamic you are. I've known many artists who were very ordinary artists. In India especially, Amzad Ali was an ordinary artist. After coming to Sahaja, he's become such a great artist. Sifat Hussain, so many of them. Because I'm telling you, you don't have to believe, you can ask them. There are so many people like this who have achieved a lot. There are many who could never speak a word on the stage. They had a stage fear. They have become great orators and speakers. They have become free to express themselves. Then we have people who are, say, chartered accountants, who have never known what is language is, what is the beauty of poetry is. They have become great poets. Like this, so many things have happened to people. But we don't want to publicize, and we don't want to give it in the newspapers, and we don't allow people to talk about it. Because that is not the main thing that you have to achieve. Firstly, you are collectively conscious. But when you become collectively conscious, you don't react. Because you know, if a person is trying to be harsh with you, you know why he is harsh. If a person is trying to be nice with you, you know why he is. Because you know, you do not react. You just watch. And this watching is something like your attention being directed towards the problem. This attention, when directed towards that problem, acts. It acts. It's not just an attention that goes out, but it acts and works out things. So many miracles have taken place in Sahaja that it's impossible to understand this all-pervading power, how it is working. As I say, it's Kruta Yuga now. Kali Yuga is about to finish. The Kruta Yuga has started. Kruta Yuga means the one in which this Parama Chaitanya, this all-pervading power is active. It is active. It acts in so many ways that you are surprised at the miracles it has created. This is not the time I could tell you about this, but those who are here, who have got their realization, have been blessed by Sahaja, can tell each one of them lots of things that they have seen, that has happened to them, and how their lives were transformed. This transformation is very important today. With this transformation, people lose the sense of greed. Nowadays, this greed has brought all the politicians to such a level. It's so stupid to have this greed. The satisfaction part comes in through Sahaja. As you know, there is the law of economics that in general wants are not satiable. Today I want to buy a car, then I don't enjoy it. Want to have a house, I don't enjoy it. Then I want to have an aeroplane, I don't enjoy it. Because we don't know what we want. We run after these things one after another like mad, and the greed starts working to such a stupid limit that people want to put all this money into the walls. They want to have walls of money. When the stupidity goes to that limit, not only greed, then also the jealousies we have. Because we think that the people who are with us are not the people who should be there, or should supersede them, or we should be at a higher position. Actually, there is no love, there is no compassion, there is no understanding of another person. But when Sahaja takes place, I have seen thousands of people, whether they are from Russia, from England, America, Australia, anywhere. I have seen them thousands together, they live together, they feel each other, they understand each other, and the love they have for each other is tremendous. If something happens to someone anywhere in the world, the whole society, you can call it, you can call the nations where Sahajogis are there, they are so concerned as they would not normally be even about their brothers. All kinds of help, all kinds of suggestions come in. Doctors will run through, they will come around. It's such a big society, we can say, such a big moral relationship that starts. Everybody helps everyone. But that doesn't mean that one becomes only possible in Australia, I tell you. If you are interested in your well-being, in your transformation, you must have some patience. Otherwise, how is it going to work out? On the contrary, I have seen in Russia, there are never less than 16 to 18,000 people, and not one person would know. After all, what is so great about that? I can't understand. We are in a democratic country, and we have got freedom to do whatever we like, all right. But what about the freedom to wisdom, to understanding? Russians, I think, are people, of course, communism or anything, I'm not very much for favor for it. But one thing, they haven't developed that possessiveness in them. They're not possessive. They're so sweet that the government gave them their houses. And they said, you can have these houses, these flats you can have your own. We don't want. We don't want to have it. You can have it. Apart from that, you see, once I was there was a coup. And I asked them, aren't you worried? There's a coup on and all these things happening. They said, Mother, who are we? Why should we? We are in the kingdom of God. I was surprised at their positive understanding of themselves. That's what you are. You are so powerful within. You are so dynamic within. It's such a treasure within you. You have not known your glory, which you have to know. Once you know that, you become satisfied with yourself to begin with. But that doesn't mean that you become poor or financially disturbed. Not at all. On the contrary, I have seen now in Australia itself, people who have come to Sahaja are all very well employed, very happy people. It all works out because your attention becomes enlightened. Attention becomes concentrated. It doesn't fritter away. It doesn't take your mind here and there. And you see the right thing at the right time. You become a personality of great penetration. You don't do anything as such in the sense you don't react. But this attention itself acts and works for you. You must know that we are not only ordinary human beings. And as great saints were nothing, they were not even some of them educated people. But what was so great about them? That they were one with the divine power. They had this power flowing through you. And they were so dynamic, and you could see the dynamism within them. This is, with your attention, it happens. You know the absolute truth. If you know the absolute truth, then how can there be a quarrel? Supposing all of you know I am sitting down here. Now you won't fight on that issue whether I am here or not, because everybody sees the same thing. So if you all know absolute truth, you see, then there is no question of argument, no question of discussion, but everybody will know the same thing. That's how there cannot be any wars either, if all the people believe in the same thing. Of course, in every country we have lots of Sahajogis, I must say. And there are also some politicians in Sahaja. So, if it reaches the helm of affairs, I am sure a day will come that people will give up the idea of war completely. No question having any war, any struggle, any fight, or anybody putting up atomic bombs around. It all comes from the ignorance and the blindness of people who do not see that we are part and parcel of the whole. But when it happens to you that you become one with the divine, then you are like a little drop dissolved into the ocean of joy. Now joy is not like happiness and unhappiness. It is singular. Once you jump into the ocean of joy, everything gives you joy. If it is ridiculous, you laugh at it. If it is sublime, you enjoy it. And the whole personality becomes so beautiful and vibrant that it absorbs everything that is constructive. All that is destructive is dropped out. You'll be amazed that in Sahaja Yoga, 50% people in the West who had taken to drugs have dropped out. Who had taken to destructive methods have finished with it. So many destructive habits which they could not give up have been completely given up by them. This is not because of any compulsion, without any discipline or force, but your own power of spirit makes you your own master, your own guru. And you see in the light of the spirit what is good for you, what is bad for you. Nobody has to tell you about it. It just happens. Now you saw these people, or more Western people, singing. It's a Marathi song written by Namadeva. In the 16th century, all our villagers also sing. The way they were pronouncing, you'll be amazed. I mean, nobody can do it. It's very difficult for Western people to pronounce our difficult tongue twister languages. But they are the ones who have picked up not only the language, but also the music. We are surprised from Romania. 3 boys came. In 2 months' time, they started singing Qawwali just like Nusrat Jahan. We were surprised how could they take to it so easily. I mean, you just become like a genius. In every walk of life, it becomes so different. Your stress and strain, all these things drop out. Because now you are connected with the all-pervading power of divine love, which guides you, which works for you, which helps you All the time it's a blissful existence, which is your birthright, which you should have. In one lecture, of course, you cannot tell all about you, because it's very, very deep down within you. All these things are sprouting and existing. But once you get your realization, you have to know that now you have become a collective being. For which I must say that you can't just do it, we are doing meditation at home. You have to come to the collective. Today it's a collective happening. I am talking of global transformation. For that, this collective happening has to take place. Thus, we can avoid all the struggles, all the strifes, and all the horrible wars completely. There's no compulsion for anything. You yourself know what is good for you and what is bad for you. I hope today you all get your realization. You will, if you desire. Definitely you will all get your realization. No doubt. But then you should not allow yourself to be just blown off for a while and then again you don't develop yourself. It's like a seed that grows slowly into a tree. And you all have to grow into a tree, which is not difficult. Especially Australians have a speciality, I've seen. They can grow very fast into their ascent in a very simple way. And luckily we have very good centers here, very, very good Sahajogis. It's working very well, and I'm sure you are all going to enjoy your realization and then your growth. For that you have to come to collective. Of course we don't have elaborate arrangements and things like that, because you see, we don't believe in publicity or marketing. It is your desire that you have to come humbly and get to know all about it. It's not mental knowledge, but it's the knowledge on your central nervous system. So many things are happening here. I was told also that a wing has been given in some hospital in Australia, maybe in Sydney, where people could be treated with Sahaja, for which you don't have to take medicines, you don't have to pay to the doctors, nothing. That's one thing one should know, that you can't pay for God. You can't. God doesn't understand money. He doesn't understand banking. It's your headache. He has no idea about what all these things we have done to ourselves. So best thing is to remember that only you have to give some respect to your self-realization. Respect to yourself. Love and compassion for yourself. And forgive yourself. That's one of the ways we can really understand that we are human beings at the epitome of evolution. And we have to achieve this in our lifetime. It is such a tremendous luck that at this time, at this juncture, you are here. You should get your realization and grow into it. May God bless you. It will hardly take 10 minutes. Hardly 10 minutes to get your realization. But I would request those who want to go should go now. I should not disturb others later on. It would be better that they go now. If you want Sahaja Yoga, you want to have your ascent, then please, you should not disturb others. Stay here and follow few things that I am going to tell you. It's very simple, as I told you. It has to work fast. It has worked very fast these days. I was amazed that in Shivaji Park there were 60,000-70,000 people. And it worked out in 5 minutes. I was amazed how things work out these days. It's getting faster and faster. First, it used to take hours together, but not now. There are conditions which are very simple. First, as I told you, please forgive yourself. People must have told you that you are a sinner or so this is wrong, that wrong, and we develop guilt. Also, it's a fashion, I think, to develop a guilt for everything. Now, supposing we do not follow any norms of this modern life, there are also some stupid norms, you see. And if you don't follow any one of them, then you start feeling guilty, I should have done this, I should have done that. But we don't know how we harm ourselves by feeling guilty. The center on the left-hand side gets into problem. When this center gets into problem, minimum of minimum, we might develop spondylitis on the physical side. Then we might develop a disease called heart disease, angina. Then also we might get all our organs in the viscera. All the organs can become very lethargic. So to feel guilty is also a nonsense if you see it, because whatever mistake you have committed is past. And that time you should have corrected it. But what's the use of now feeling guilty about it and torturing yourself? Whatever you have done is finished and gone. At least for mother, her son is never guilty. In the same way, you must know, in the eyes of God, you are not guilty. So you have to say in your heart, you can call me Mother or Shri Mataji, Mother, I am not guilty at all. The another simple thing to do is, as you have forgiven yourself, you forgive everyone, even without thinking about them. Because logically, whether you have forgiven or not forgiven, you have done nothing. What are you doing? I don't forgive means what? Means that I am torturing myself all the time, all my life, for somebody who is enjoying himself. We play into wrong hands if we don't forgive. But by that, what happens to our chakras? That this center in the crossing of the optic chiasma is like this, absolutely constricted. Absolutely constricted. And unless and until you forget, it won't open at all, and the Kundalini cannot cross over. This is the last barrier we have. So, just forget and forgive all the people, in general if you want. Don't think about them, because that's also a headache to remember whom you have to forgive. They don't deserve that attention. So just forgive altogether. You will feel lighter even now, immediately, if you just forgive everyone. These are the two conditions, I think, are not so difficult. Third one is, you have to take out your shoes. But I hope you don't mind, because in England, first time when I said you have to take out your shoes, half of them walked out. Why shoes? Because this Mother Earth helps us a lot. She sucks in our problems. Then have your socks on, doesn't matter. Now you know that these five are these sympathetic edges, sympathetic. So you please put these hands towards me like this, just like this. Now, please put your right hand towards me like this, and the left hand on top of the fontanelle bone area, talu, which was the soft bone on top of your head, and put down your head as far as possible. Now please don't put it on top, but away from it. Now see for yourself. Please put down your head. If you want, you can take out your spectacles. Now, see for yourself if there's a cool or hot breeze like vibrations are coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Some people get it little far away, some get it quite close. Now don't feel guilty, I can feel your centers, out of which this guilty business is quite a lot. If it is hot, then you should know you have not forgiven yourself or you have not forgiven others. So please forgive now. You can move your hand, it may be close to the head, might be away from it. Depends on, and move your hand and see for yourself. Now, please put left hand towards me. And please put down your head and see for yourself on top of your head on the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. See for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your brain, out of your head. Here again I would request you to forgive yourself and forgive others. Please. That will definitely help. Now, please take your right hand towards me. And now see for yourself with the left hand on top of your head if there's a cool or a hot breeze-like vibrations are coming. Actually, you have to desire it. It's not meant for arrogant people, but meant for humble who want to have their self-realization. You have to humble down. Now please put both your hands towards the sky like this. And put back your head. Push back. Here you have to ask a question in your heart 3 times. Any one of these questions you can ask 3 times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or Mother, is this the all-pervading power of divine love? Or Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times in your heart. Push back your head and push your hands. Now please take down your hands. Now, if you can put both your hands towards me like this. And watch me without thinking. Just watch me without thinking. Some people are getting it here, so you can push it up if they are getting down. Just push it up. Watch me without thinking. All those who have felt cool breeze on the fingertips or in the center of the palm or out of the fontanelle bone area, whether hot or cool, please raise both your hands. My goodness. I bow to you, all of you have felt it, which is very great experience for me. So may God bless you all. Now your saintly life has started. So be careful. You don't have to give up anything outside. You don't have to renounce anything. It's everything there, and you have become a saint. So please respect your self-realization and develop it so that you can help yourself and help everyone around. I must tell you, I was surprised that there was a good center started in Israel, and the people who started were Germans and Austrians. It was such a feeling of joy for me that look at these Germans, they feel responsible for the Jews. They have gone to Israel to give them realization. Such love and such compassion, such transformation that you'll enjoy your virtues, you'll enjoy yourself. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you all.